Welcome students. Today we are going to start a new chapter from chemistry section, that is chemical reactions and equations. The topics that are involved in this chapter are chemical reaction, what is chemical reaction, what is chemical equation. We will discuss about the writing of a chemical equation, how to balance a chemical equation. Then we'll discuss types of chemical reactions, combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, double displacement reaction, oxidation and reduction reaction. We'll discuss all these reactions. Then at the end we'll discuss the effect of oxidation reaction in our daily life. There we will discuss about the corrosion and rancidity. So let's start with chemical reaction. What is chemical reaction? So, chemical reactions are the processes in which new substances with new properties are formed. So, basically, whenever we are having a change, and in that change, in that process, new substances formed with entirely new properties, then that process is known as chemical reaction. And students, this chemical reaction always involve chemical changes. You are aware about chemical changes, right? You have learned about physical changes and chemical changes. So if we talk about melting of ice, there only the state of a substance gets changed. That is a physical change. But if we talk about rusting of iron, formation of curd, these are chemical changes, because in these changes, new substances are formed with new properties. So, all the chemical reactions involve these chemical changes. So during chemical reaction, what happens? Rearrangement of atoms takes place between the reacting substances to form new substance which is having entirely different properties. So in chemical reaction, it involves the breaking of old chemical bonds which exist between the atoms of reacting substance. And then what happens when old chemical bonds break, new chemical bonds make, right? So basically in chemical reactions, breaking of old bonds takes place and the formation of making of new chemical bonds between the rearranged atoms of new substances takes place. So during chemical reaction, atoms of one element do not change into those of another element. Mind it, students, it's not atoms that change into another element, another atoms. It's just the rearrangement of atoms that is taking place in a chemical reaction. Okay. So the substances which take part in a chemical reaction, these are called reactants, which involve in chemical reaction. On the substances which take part in chemical reaction, upon which changes happen, that are reactants. And the new substance which is produced as a result of the reaction, the new substance is called product. So in a chemical reaction, reactants are transformed into products, right? So the products which are formed there have properties which are entirely different from those of the reactants. So if we take an example of chemical reactions, we are having a lot of examples. Let's talk about magnesium. You guys know about magnesium. It is a silvery white metal and it's available in science labs in the form of ribbon or in the form of wire. Now let's study its reaction with oxygen. Okay, so what happens whenever magnesium ribbon is heated, it burns in air with a dazzling flame to form white powder like magnesium, that's called magnesium oxide. So basically on heating, what happens? Magnesium combines with oxygen and that's present in air to form magnesium oxide. So this burning of magnesium is an example of a chemical reaction. See what happens? Two reactants are there, magnesium and oxygen, right? And one product is formed, that is magnesium oxide. And this magnesium oxide it's having entirely different properties from those of the reactant magnesium and oxygen. So this is a chemical reaction. And yeah, one more thing is here, that this magnesium ribbon, it's usually has a coating of magnesium oxide on its surface, which is formed by the slow action of oxygen of air on it. And now, when we have to burn this magnesium ribbon, so before burning, we have to clean it. We just rub it by with sandpaper, so that the protective layer of magnesium oxide gets removed, and then it can easily combine with the oxygen on heating. Okay. And yeah, one more point is here, that the dazzling very bright white light is given out during the burning of magnesium ribbon, and that's harmful to the eyes. So it should be burned by keeping it as far as possible from the eyes. Okay. So this is, it's not that chemical reactions can be carried out only in science labs. No, a large number of chemical reactions keep on occurring in our daily life. If we talk about the cooking of food, formation of curd, digestion of food in our body, in fact, the process of respiration, rusting of iron, burning of fuels, ripening of fruits, burning of wax, candle wax, these are all chemical changes, and they involve chemical reactions. Okay. So you will see that in all the chemical reactions, in they involve chemical changes, and in all the chemical changes, the nature and identity of the initial substance changes. Why? Because chemical reaction has taken place, and that is why the nature and identity of the substance changes. Now, an important question arises here: how do we come to know that a chemical reaction has taken place? So, for that purpose, for that thing will become clear with the discussion on the characteristics of chemical reaction that we'll discuss in the next lecture. Hope you have understood what are chemical reactions. These are nothing but the process where the chemical change has occurred. That means formation of new substance has taken place, and with entirely different properties.